Yo, yo, what's up? This is not Rob and this is not Susan. This is Hannah, Saint Sinner. And guess what? I am the guest on this very special episode of the FreedHearts podcast. So why is it special? Because it is the 100th episode. We're going to talk about growing up in this family, my time in the church, about coming out, and about my favorite thing, music. And I'm going to sing a couple songs for you as well. So let's do this. And hey, you might know this song.
Would it be okay if I were to tell you that I am afraid someday? So I call you up and you call me down. Would it be okay?
Well, hello and welcome to the FreedHearts podcast. This is our 100th episode. Oh my gosh, the 100th. Oh, thank you. Please sit down. It's fine. Thank our studio audience. We have no studio audience, do we? My name is Robert Cottrell, and I'm here as always with
Susan Cottrell.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm great. It's good to be with you.
I know, and we are not alone.
No, we're not alone.
We, for the first time ever.
Dun, dun,
We don't just mean
dun.
alien visitations either.
No, we're not talking life like that today.
Oh, okay.
We have somebody with us.
Yes.
Now, as a listener of this podcast, well, first let me say hello. Don't forget to share and subscribe and support if you can. All that information is at freedhearts.org. Connect with us. Come say hi. If, as a listener of this podcast, you know the music at the beginning and the end. Well, I hope they get to the end. I assume they get to the end. It's a song, Calm Me Down, by our daughter, Hannah, whose artist name is Saint Sinner, and she's here with us today. Hi.
Hi, guys.
Hello. Would it be okay?
Hi.
That's
Hi.
right.
How are
You're
you
the voice.
doing?
I'm good.
We decided to do something really special. She is a Grammy-nominated singer. And by the way, she had one person. Let's just make sure we get this clear, since you've taken my role as joke teller over the past several episodes. Let me get this clear. Hannah had one person to invite to the Grammys.
Dad, don't rub
She
it
did.
in.
No.
And it was
Oh, it was
me.
you.
It was me.
I felt bad that I didn't have 2 tickets and could have brought you
I
both.
know.
Of
I know.
course.
But
I was fine. I was
it was
good.
me, and I had the greatest shoes.
You did. Aw, that was such an
Hannah
honor.
got him.
I got
his
to go to the
shoes.
Grammys.
Yeah.
I know.
It was
After
so
all
great.
this time.
Yeah. Anyway, she's a Grammy-nominated singer-songwriter, incredible producer. She's an innovative creator as a DJ artist. She's so much more.
Aw.
Oh, and she's a wonderful, inspiring, amazing human being with a beautiful soul.
Stop. Thanks. I love you.
Oh, stop. Really, she's saying, keep going. No. And this is our I can't believe it, 100th episode.
Jeez.
We started this during the pandemic, and we just can't stop. Our 100th episode, and we want to do something very, very special. We don't have guests on this show, but we wanted to do this since we're celebrating 100, and we thought the perfect person to be our very first guest would be you.
Thank you. Happy 100th episode.
Aw, thanks. Who do you have
Thank
with you?
Oh,
You are.
it's a tiny stuffed animal named Kirby. It's a tiny little dog. He's really, really, really cute.
And I see him a lot of your posts on social media.
Yeah.
He's very cute.
He travels with me.
He travels
I
with you.
love that. I love that you do that.
Aw.
He's very cute.
So Hannah's here with us, and we're just going to talk. We're going to talk about stuff, all
Cool.
kinds of stuff and stuff like that. And you up for that?
Sure.
Yeah.
Stuff
and then
and things.
stuff and things. So we just wanted to ask you, do you have anything to say since she's here? And hello? And
No, you're just such a delight, and it's just great to be here with you.
Oh, it's great
You
to
inspire
be here
me.
with you guys. I love you.
Amazingly.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Mama.
So we're glad you're here.
Aw.
mm,
Thank you for having me. Truly, it's an honor. I know you guys don't have guests, so
I
Yeah.
know.
thanks. That's really
Yeah.
cool.
And you're here actually because you're in the middle. This will be broadcast in early April, but you're right now in the middle of a tour of
Yeah.
5 actually 6 dates.
Turn into 6, yeah.
Turn into 6 tour in California. But you're here in Seattle in between some dates
Yes.
with us, and we're just so excited you're here.
What a gift for you to show up.
Yeah.
Be here.
So I'm just going to talk. I'm just going to ask you some questions. Okay.
Cool.
What is the meaning of life? No, wait. And we'll chat about that. So I want to ask you.
Yeah, we'll get to that
Yeah,
question.
we'll get that question. Yeah. That's episode 200. What's it like having us as parents?
Aw.
Really?
Very
what's it like?
fun,
Is
for
it?
one.
It sounds like we're digging here for
No,
compliments, but
no.
we
No,
don't
it said
mean
you
that.
gave me the prompt before, and it said, "What do we like as parents? Be honest." So I
Yeah.
definitely know that there was room to be open, but it was really great. You guys have always given me a lot of trust. I think that was really cool. Like, I mean, I go back to wanting to graduate early in high school, and the school was like, "Hee, we'd love to see you try. That's impossible." And you guys were like, "Go for it. Great. Do it online, get the extra credits done, finish it." And then when I was done with high school, I was like, "Hey, I want to go
At age 16.
at 16."
Yeah.
And then
You
I want to
just
go
turned 16.
Yeah. And afterwards, I want to go. There's this volunteer mission leadership training in South Africa. Can I go there? And you guys were like, "Yeah, all by myself. Yeah, for sure." And like, when I
It was
tell
with
people
the
that,
group.
sometimes
It
they're
was with the
shocked. It
group.
was with the group. Yeah.
Yeah.
But at 16, I mean, you just gave me a lot of trust, and
Mhm.
I appreciate that. And you always
you deserved it. You earned it.
Oh, thanks. But yeah, I don't know. You guys raised 5 kids, and now that I'm an adult and I have bills and things, I'm like, how the heck did you guys raise 5 kids and keep our mouths fed? I don't know how, and a roof over our heads. So I'm extremely grateful for all of that.
We're not sure either.
Yeah,
but-
looking back, I don't know how we did that either, but we just moved forward. And I think, and we did, we weren't perfect parents, certainly.
nobody is.
No one is. But yeah, you earned that trust. You've always been an old soul to me. And so much more mature than your age. You have always been that. And I recall you were the youngest of 5, and 2 in particular, but even maybe 3 of your older siblings were involved in theater and music and stuff like that. And we used to joke with the director of the local theater company, "Oh my gosh, look, we're coming. This child is in the play. This child's in the play. We're coming to all the rehearsals. Can you just stick Hannah in the chorus?"
And she
somewhere.
did.
And she did. And you were up there, just sitting and looking around and just being, cute and
Adorable.
cute.
Oh my God.
And then I'm walking through the house sometime later, and I hear this music on the piano. And I'm like, who's? And it was you.
Aw.
And I asked you, "Where did you learn that?" And you said, "I taught myself."
Yeah.
Yeah, you just learned it. And you've done that. You haven't had any guitar lessons, any piano lessons, any of that stuff. I've got a music industry background, and you also sing.
I sing harmonies.
So,
Yeah.
but so I think it's in the genes
Yeah.
somewhere, but you're such a
It's
natural
down in the
gift.
denim.
And you're an old soul, and it was a joy to parent you. I mean, there's,
Aw.
and you were kind of on your own out there since like 14, 15 or
Well,
so.
no, not on your own.
Yeah, I was going to say, I never felt alone.
Yeah,
Like, I
we
never
didn't
felt like
just
I didn't have
throw
support.
you to the streets at 14. That's
No.
maybe what it sounded like, but you got to go live with another family, to go to a different school.
So you could finish.
So you could finish early. And just there was method to the madness. And then you went on these adventures like you talked about in South Africa. So they were opportunities that we said, yeah, that sounds great. I mean, yes, we miss you. Good grief. But you're at the beginning of your life to start out on adventures. Your life is not to continue with mom and dad as long as you can. It's to enjoy the adventures that come up.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
Any other thoughts about growing up with 4 older siblings, or with us as parents, or moving, or what we did for a living, or all that kind of stuff? I mean, any...
Oh man, I love what you guys did for a living. Hope Kids was the best thing ever. And you were doing Hope Kids, and I think you primarily, Mom, raised kids at home, and when you were
Homeschooled
still
you.
so involved,
Yeah.
like you guys always came to my sports
And
games.
what you mentioned is what we worked with kids with cancer,
Yeah.
families with.
Yeah, we did that
Kids
for
with
10 years.
cancer.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was really amazing to do.
Yeah, and it wasn't perfect. Like, no family is, and I don't want it to paint it as a fairy tale, but
Right.
it kind of also was. I feel like super, super, super lucky and blessed to have been y'all's daughter, because I feel like you like paved a path, but you also were like you get to decide where this path goes, but like, we're going to support you and be the wind behind your back, which is really cool.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's
Yeah.
fun to watch you set sail too.
Aw.
During a lot of that time, we were part of the evangelical church, the non-affirming evangelical church, pretty conservative. What was What was it like? And again, you were younger then, but you were in the youth groups and stuff like that. What was it like growing up in in that non-affirming conservative evangelical church group? Do you have a lot of memory of that, or a lot of thoughts
of
about
course.
that? Do you?
Yeah, for sure. Youth groups and
tell us.
Good, bad.
I don't know. I mean, childhood was super fun. Like primary, elementary, middle school was all just fun because I think as a kid you're just like, everything's fun. We do crafts at church and this is fun, and they sing and like, yay. And then it gets to high school and you're like, wait, what? What's going on? And I remember, I mean, I feel like when I was in my 22 to 24, maybe a little bit after, I probably was like, oh fuck, I have some internal homophobia I need to deal with because of what I was taught. And like, I think the sex talk in Christian homes and in Christian churches like doesn't exist. It's more just like, don't have sex instead of like, here's how to do it safely, and here's how to do it with consent and with someone who loves you. And like,
boy,
that's
consent,
really, really important.
What a great idea to teach kids at home.
Yeah, for sure.
Boys and girls.
Yeah. And that's a big part. One of the hashtags I use all the time is a purity culture, because that's what, that's a lot of folks who listen to us out there I know have come through that. And that whole, modest is hottest. We talked about this a couple episodes ago, that whole thing about waiting and stuff is so shaming and so damaging. It doesn't set you up for any kind of healthy sexual relationship or relationship with your sexuality at all. Yeah. So what else?
And they don't mean that, but that is what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you said that you reminded me or told me a while back that you knew you could talk freely to your theater friends where you couldn't talk freely in your youth group.
Yeah.
It was just, you knew you stood to be judged in there. You really had to watch yourself not to be judged or to minimize the judgment.
I think that was one of my siblings who told you that.
Yeah, I think that was Natalie.
But was it?
It's okay. You have 5 of us.
Okay.
Well, but I understand that sentiment a lot. I would probably be like,
when
maybe
you said
my
when you were
too.
coming out to yourself, you knew you couldn't share that in youth group, but maybe I
don't think I was there yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that actually leads to my next, but that's okay. Shout out to Natalie.
Or Ash, or I don't know which one it was.
Whoever it was.
You are our second child to come out. What was that like to have an older sibling come out first, to have them come out, period? And then how did that change how it impacted you when you felt like you wanted to come out?
I remember the day that I was in Oregon at the time, living with someone who was kind of a mentor, and Michelle, and she sat me down and was like, hey, your older sibling just came out as a lesbian, which then has transferred over time, but she came out as lesbian. And then
I didn't know that. She sat you down and told you that?
Yeah. Huh. And I just cried, and I giggle about it now because it was like, I didn't know what other reaction to have, because I was 15. I was still deeply in like, Christianity was my world. And that's just all I knew. So it was like, oh my God, it's a horrible thing. What are we going to do? Like, that's so scary. It's so different. And also that whole ranch experience was a lot to handle. But now I'm like, damn, I'm really grateful for Ash, because they kind of took like the forefront of coming out, and I was able to like be in the back being like, hey, me too. Also, I resonate with a lot of that. Hey, it's like, I feel the same, but mostly just with girls. And yeah.
Did you feel that it was safer to come out because of that experience? Did you feel that it was not wrong? You know what I mean?
I think it still took me a lot of time to realize just myself that I'm not wrong, but I definitely felt safer. I always especially felt safe with Ash. They took me to they convinced mom to let me go get my nose pierced, and they helped me find a salon to cut my hair when I wanted to do that. And they were always like down for my
They're an amazing sibling, really.
Yeah.
Oh.
They've been had a good relationship with you.
Do you have any thoughts about that as far as when Hannah came out to you?
Yeah.
Came out?
I was still in the church too. And, the second child comes out, and your first thought is, oh my God, it is us.
Yeah, we were still kind of barely in the church at that point.
Yeah, we were barely in the church, but we hadn't excavated all the thinking yet.
Yeah, say that again. What you said about, you think, oh, it's...
Yeah, so you think, oh my God, it is us. What are we doing in our family? We're like everybody else, and now this is happening. But it settled, and it was like, no, it's not us. This is who our kids are. And, we had as you said, we had already excavated it with Ash. And so it was, okay, all right, you be who you are.
Yeah. Because there are gay and queer and trans kids raised in heterosexual households, and there are straight kids raised in a same-sex gender or a same-sex household or a trans household, stuff like that. So it all comes down to like the person themselves.
Who they are. That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
No, you've never really liked labels.
No.
Or binaries. Can you talk about why you don't like labels? What that feels like?
For one, it's nobody's business besides the people that I decide to tell. Like that, the idea of like your sexual orientation being your forefront is like, that's between me and the people that I share that with. And that's it. Like to have that be the leading part of your personality trait has definitely never been of interest to me. Though it is more interesting now because I feel like it's almost like a duty to like be proud about it, because not everyone has the ability or privilege to be proud of it and like to be free to be who they are.
It's permission giving to other people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And for some people who know you from the past, like, wait, you? Well, that's not that's not the image I had softball. In mind.
I don't know if anyone's really surprised.
When I watch my news channel, that's not the image I have in mind. And I think so it does challenge people sometimes. It breaks their that false narrative that they have going on.
Well, one friend of yours, friend at the time, who you grew up with, said, "Oh my gosh, you're not the person I used to know." And you said, "No, last time we talked was 5 years ago." Why,
I was like 14 when
I
we
was
talked.
14. Why would I still be that person?
Yeah.
It's just funny.
Yeah.
Someone said to us recently, not in a negative way, but just said, "Hey, you always say those in the LGBTQ community." And they said, "Why don't you say those in our community who are LGBTQ?"
Oh my gosh.
And I thought, wow, that's so different.
It's so different.
Yeah. And I feel like, you talked about, kind of the us, them, why does it have to be this kind of thing? And to make that little shift means we are all in this community and they just happen to be lesbian or bisexual or gay or whatever.
So you feel like our community with our members who are LGBTQ plus, you feel like that's more inclusive
than saying folks in the LGBTQ community.
100%. Because you can be in a queer community and be an ally or just be queer in like a different way. We consider ourselves
in the community. Right. Absolutely.
Right. And you guys are in a
in a different role.
So, and I think, and that also goes along with that, with just making it matter of fact, but speaking up boldly, because it's, especially with the stuff, and we're going to talk about this, and I'll talk about this near the end of the episode in a bit about what's coming in the next couple of weeks, but with the increased attacks on the transgender community and LGBTQ rights, again, it's important that people speak up and speak up loudly. And so, yeah. So since you don't like labels, can I ask you what draws you to a person? There's a pensive look going on here. I mean, can you define it?
I think the way someone treats other people is very, very important to me. Kindness and like caretaking and willingness to love on other people and be like not afraid to say things that might be scary and not afraid to like be bold. Yeah, I think honesty and caring for other people, whether it's chosen family, friends, career relationships, like having a care for other people is really, really special.
And you have that quality.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
You do, absolutely.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
And you're very caring. You don't rush people. You don't push people. You just accept people like, okay, that it is what it is. This is what you want to do. Okay, well, I may do this or something.
Because it is. I mean, you see a tree in nature and the leaves fall off. It's like, that's fall time. That is what it is.
Right, exactly.
And we'll see your leaves again
we
in
have
spring.
a hard time with that often.
Yeah.
We do. We want to make it something else.
Yeah.
Well, when you have a heart like yours, it's really, and I don't know if this sounds right or not, but when someone does not have that kind of kindness and respect and patience, it really stands out.
Yeah.
And it's something, it's like, I can't, it's so damaging. We see that. We talk about this a lot, how folks talk to each other, parents to children, spouses to each other and all that kind of stuff. And it's just that just being kind is kind of a lost art these days, especially with all the social media and stuff that just kind of grooms us all to or encourages us all sometimes to not be very kind. It's when you find that in someone, it's a real gift.
Yeah.
And so everybody in your life is grateful for that.
Oh, yeah,
That's
absolutely.
So let's talk business.
Business.
Talk business.
Come with the music.
Yeah. How did
I love it.
been doing this now? I mean, when you went to South Africa, when you were 16, 17, that's really when you
Yes.
How did all this start for you?
Well, you so sweetly bought me an Ibanez guitar, $200. I'll never forget, black. I ended up giving it away to a friend, and it was so sweet. And I think the guitar I have right now on tour is another Ibanez.
Yeah,
so I
saw
feel like
that.
that's always going to have a little sweet spot in my heart.
And you didn't randomly give it away, but there was a guy there in South Africa who really needed it.
Yeah, for sure.
And you gave to him. It's just really a sweet turnaround.
Yeah.
That's kind of how you are in your life too, which is very cool.
Ibanez, if you're listening, we do not have sponsors. No.
Oh yeah, no, they're definitely not paying for this, but they will.
But we would take it.
Oh.
So how did it start for you? You were
you
in
just
South
sent
Africa and you were writing music, right?
Writing music, yeah. Telling stories, telling my own story, processing life. I think I was growing a lot, obviously. At 16, you're like discovering so much, 17, 18, 19.
Yeah.
And I had that guitar there and I loved it. I played and I would come up with melodies and lyrics, and it was such a good way to process how I saw the world, what I was learning. I feel like wisdom was just kind of coming out. Like I still listen to old songs and I'm like, wow, I'm learning from those lyrics. It was almost beyond me, It was like, cool, I can just listen to this and feel calm. And yeah, I just love
That's really
music.
being in the flow and the spirit to me. I mean, like inspiration means the breath in you.
That's cool.
And it kind of came in you, like you said, I listened, like, where'd that come from kind of thing.
I mean, inspiration is in spirit. That's really cool. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
And that is, music in general is really powerful, especially when you're processing emotions and thoughts and growth.
Yeah.
And it's always been a real gift in your songs is you tell a wonderful story. And that's really deep and really touches people's hearts. And so when you go back and hear that, but that's your heart you're sharing.
Yeah, for sure.
So the first heart you're touching in that is your ability to write that down.
Yeah, that's very true.
To yourself and sing it out and speak that in that way. Maybe the only way you're speaking it in life is through the song.
Yeah.
Do you recall? No, go ahead.
Well, there's just been no other option besides to, I think, write. And I have one co-writer that I trust to write with me and help me assign my thoughts in certain like levels of the track when I'm like, I have this song and I have this idea, but it doesn't feel finished yet. Will you help me finish it? And Moses helps me do that. But I also, there's a lot of careers in music that you could pursue. And one could have been just like writing or singing what people write and making money maybe that way. But that was never like, I'm not going to sing someone else's life or story or sing something that I don't believe in. Like I have to believe in what I'm saying.
Right.
And yeah, that's always been super
And I imagine
prominent.
similarly, you could also write and other people would sing, but then they're singing your story.
But I wouldn't be able to, I don't mind that, but I wouldn't be able to write for other people because I can only write from like my experiences,
Yeah.
Right.
Well, when you look at some of the great, like Amy Winehouse and Adele recently, what's really moving about that is it's their stories. It's their life. And that gives you such a connection to the voice you're hearing.
Yeah.
Hello.
And that's hello. It's me. It's us again. And I think you're right. I think it would be much harder. It's more of a performance to take someone else's song and sell it like you lived it.
Yeah. Which is an art. That's an art. Pop stars, recording artists, that is an art, but that's not something I felt aligned with personally. So
but to have someone like, I think of Whitney Houston with the song, I Will Always Love You. Which most of you probably know this, but Dolly Parton wrote that song.
I did not know that.
Really?
Yeah. That's amazing.
Dolly Parton wrote that song.
I fucking love Dolly.
Know. She said,
and Whitney Houston.
She said, Dolly, Whitney made me a wealthy woman.
See, that's so great. You never know in music also. It's full of surprises. You never know when something's going to just shoot across your sky.
And her partner in writing, the man she was working with or whatever, had said, you need to write a love song. I challenge you to write a love song. Dolly's like, bugger off or whatever. But she came up with this.
Wow.
And it's like,
that's
huge.
the same with Sarah Bareilles. Remember, I'm not going to write you a love song because you asked for it.
Yeah.
I think that was someone on her, whatever, on the business side, were like, write a love song, it'll sell. And she's like, I'm not going to write you a love song. And then that's one of her biggest hits.
Yeah.
And in the same way as when you just listen to music. When you listen to music and a song touches you, it's like, oh, that's my story. That's why I think you said I can write and I'm okay if someone else takes one of the songs and sings it and hears your song and goes, oh, I wish I had written that. That's my story. That's easier to sing. And that's easier as a writer to kind of live with that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's resonation. I feel like that's the willingness to like tell a true life story.
Yeah.
And where it's just a really big, like scary step to be that vulnerable because it's a true story. But being that vulnerable is like getting down on a street life level and people are like, that happened to me. I'm going to listen to this song because I understand that person and they're being willing to like have a glass window into their life for a minute. Yeah.
Well, I've told you that one of the things I admire the most about you as an artist is your authenticity and your vulnerability.
Thanks.
Your transparency. And I recall, you're welcome. I recall you talking about the first time getting on stage in South Africa, how that was kind of a big, scary deal. Do you have moments now that you're an experienced artist, almost 10 years from that? Wow.
Wow. Yeah, I know.
And you've been through a lot of stuff. You've been through South Africa. You were on tour, on a major world tour, and sang at the Sydney Opera House.
That is so exciting.
And to
shout out
things like,
Tycho because that was his tour. He built that career 20 years in, and
and you became his.
He sold out Sydney. I mean, I was there, and I know that album, but that album has taken time to marinate as well. Like right now, those songs are taking off, and at the time, it was definitely brand new. But it brought me a lot of experience for sure, and put me on a lot of legendary stages like that.
And you got the Grammy nomination.
Yeah, for sure.
Which was, again, you're the only voice on there and wrote half the album, right? Is that right?
Do you
have any favorite moments as you look back on 10 years? Do you have any favorite moments? Like, that one is like I was just there yesterday.
Mount Fuji in Japan, Fuji Rock. That was the biggest crowd I've ever sang to. And someone told me that Japanese fans are amazing and they'll kind of like, they'll follow you as the person on stage. And so at one point I was still very nervous. Like I don't know, like there was never any training for being on stage or anything. I've always just been songwriting. So, okay, how am I performing now? I don't know. Let's just go do it. But I just put my arms up and was like swinging them on the beat to no stress, no stress. And they did it too. And it was so cool. Just a sea of arms and it felt so uniting. And it was really, really tight. Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. It's a good point. You're not trained to do on stage like that.
Yeah.
The way you just dived into it.
Wow.
Yeah. And especially in that way when I'm coming out just as a vocalist performing in front of a band where me at the core is just like me and my guitar. I can handle that. That's super fun.
Which is what you're doing now on tour.
Which is what I'm doing now on tour. Yeah. Which is the best.
So it's awesome.
But yeah.
Saint Sinner Simplified.
Yes, exactly.
That's so exciting.
Nailed it. Yeah. That's great.
You had a moment like that, like the Japan moment at the Greek Theater in Berkeley, did you not?
Did I?
Where you were sitting up on like the speakers.
Oh, that was so fun. Yeah.
Yeah. And you really had the audience with you on that too.
Sure.
So,
I definitely love the stages. If there's scaffolding, I'm going to climb it. So.
Well, I have to ask you because you've talked about this. I think you did a recent post where you said you talked about some of the streaming services out there, and we won't name names here, but some of them don't pay very well. And and the late David Crosby from Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young said something like, I got, millions of streams on this one service last year and I got $1,200.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
It's awful.
It's awful and it's not fair for the
and
artist.
That's Crosby.
So I have to ask you.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
No, what's the question?
How can somebody support you best? If they want to support what you do in your career, is it buying on iTunes? Is it a particular streaming service over another? How can they support you the best way, or any artist that they love?
I think about the way that an artist can make money right now, and live shows are one of the biggest ones. You walk away with a lot of profit. I mean, depending on your stage setup, if you have an expensive stage, then your ticket sales are probably going to go to that. But live shows are where I personally have made enough money to like carry over. And then because I write songs, I also make money there. And then I don't know. I mean, I'm just so grateful for my fans for like listening to my music that it's hard for me to be like, also come support me. But I know people do want to. Like I posted that because it was like 500,000 streams over a year. And this one DSP paid like $2,000, but another platform, it was like 55,000 streams and they paid $3,000. So it's just kind of crazy. These like different, I mean, I don't know the math, so it's weird, but in this day and age, at least, like live tours and then merch is super, super easy to make money from. And then just like direct support. I don't know.
Like, isn't that like what iTunes, like buying the closest thing to buying a record, a CD out there is downloading it from iTunes, right? Paying for it and downloading it from iTunes.
Yeah,
is that right?
Sure. Yeah.
Is that still correct?
Or buy tickets, honestly.
Or buy tickets to a show.
Yeah. Or spread the word. I mean,
yeah, sharing is great. Yeah. Well, I'm going to ask you something now.
Yeah.
Would you sing?
Yeah.
You'll sing?
Yes.
Oh, I've got 3 things I'd like to ask you to sing.
Okay.
I'd like to ask you to sing one of your favorite older songs that you wrote. And I'd like to ask you to sing one of your current favorite songs.
Okay.
Yep. And then if you'll do it, I would like to ask you to sing something that's unreleased. Even just a teasy thing.
Yes.
These can be little bits, not the whole songs, but little bits. And everyone out there is going, no, shut up, sing the whole song. But these don't have to be the whole song because then you're on the spot here and all that stuff. So your favorite oldest song, a favorite current song, and something brand new no one's heard before. Would you do that?
Of course.
So tell us about the first thing you're going to sing.
So I'll do No Stress from the Weather album with Tycho.
Cool.
So
that one,
good.
That was actually written from a friend. We were talked about your nonprofit when I was very young called Hope Kids. And this was inspired a lot from a friend who had passed away, Cody Petey, was so like a very dear friend of ours, and he passed away, and it inspired one of the lyrics. That said, I've had friends that passed away too young, and it's just about like, if it doesn't work the first time, don't stress. If it doesn't make you feel right, don't guess. Like, just about living your life to the absolute fullest and being grateful for that. And
that's one thing I would say about Cody is you would never know.
Yeah.
I mean, you
oh my God, he was the
frail.
brightest person. So freaking cool.
Passed from cystic fibrosis. And actually in the family, as did his brother and his sister as well.
4 of the kids, 3
Rest
of them
in
had
power.
cystic fibrosis.
Yeah.
Awful.
So would you sing that for us?
Yes.
So this is No Stress.
And this is dedicated to Cody. Aww. And to anyone who's lost someone or is having a hard time in life. I think this one is going out to that.
We'll send it to the
parents.
So
this is called No Stress, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. If it doesn't work the first time, don't stress, don't stress. If it doesn't make you feel right, don't guess, cause we're too young, some of us already gone, yeah. Feel the rain and the sunshine up, no stress, I know there's hope. There's a little time left for me right now, It's no wonder at all. Everything around us turned to gold, yeah. It turned to gold, yeah. If it doesn't work the first time, don't stress. If it doesn't make you feel right, don't guess, cause we're too young, some of us already gone, yeah. Feel the rain and the sunshine up, no stress.
Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. So beautiful.
Makes me cry.
Aw, that's cry.
And the way you tell it, I love how you've simplified it like that.
Thanks.
And just, gosh, you tell a story. It's really beautiful.
That was the only song on the record that Tycho wrote specifically with me in mind. That was like kind of the last one that we made after we had met and put like 4 of the vocal tracks on the record. He'd sent me previously like songs to choose from, and I wrote 2 of those.
Oh, you wrote that, and he wrote the music to that.
Well, he wrote the music, sent it to me, but this is the first one that he wrote after he had met me and knew my voice and kind of sent this over.
Wow.
Okay.
So yeah, it's really cool.
So you do the lyrics. Do you also do the music sometimes?
Sometimes, but not on this record.
No. Yeah.
Okay. This was Tycho on all the music and me on all the lyrics and melody.
Okay.
Yeah.
And melody.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, you write the melody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's really special. Thank you.
I love that one.
You moved me.
Oh my gosh, I know. A lot of your songs make me cry.
No.
So what's this next one? This is one, like a current song that's one of your favorites, or just another one that's one of your favorites?
I think I'll do Silver Tears because it's a it's a thing that happens to people. They get their heart broken. They get betrayed some way. And this was kind of about that.
And this is on your one album. This is the name of your album.
My personal Saint Sinner's first solo album. Yeah.
It's called Silver Tears.
Yeah, it's the title track.
Okay, cool. Let's do it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I was a lover that loved you and loved you more than you love yourself. Could you not handle that? Someone who gave you more than you gave yourself. You traded gold for tears, and now you've done something that you can't take back. You chose them over me. All in a moment you gave up everything. They say our lives can change only by a single little choice we make. I'm really mad at you. You seem to keep on going like I'm not destroyed. It was no accident. I've been feeling and feeling like your afterthought. Well, if we tip the scale, baby, you know you had the bigger loss. Silver tears. You traded gold for silver tears. Silver tears. You traded gold for silver tears. Silver tears. Oh yeah, silver tears. Yeah, yeah, silver tears.
Oh my gosh.
The same response to every song. Oh my gosh.
Sweet, you guys.
We have
beautiful.
not had you do this for a long
I mean, I literally feel like last time I was doing this, I was 14. I was like, can you take a video for me?
Yeah.
And I was playing some song.
some Amy Winehouse cover song.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Seven Nation Army or something.
It's an honor to do this with you guys again.
Oh,
because it's
really
so-
special.
We love you so much.
I mean, I listen to your music all the time,
Yeah.
but to hear you live like this is really, I mean, I know why people are drawn to you live.
Aw.
You talked about one of your recent
It's
shows
moving.
when it's Simplified, where you come out and you're the opening act on this tour that you're on right now, and the supporting act, and folks are kind of milling around and chatting, and you start using your guitar and they're still kind of chatting, and then the moment you start singing, it's like, shh.
Oh,
it's
so
true.
sweet.
And
Yeah,
that's
they
true.
turn and look at you.
Aw.
We've been in your venues, and they just turn and look the second you start singing.
Yeah.
It's an honor I don't take lightly. I take it very
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah.
Well, one more song, if you would.
Yeah.
Um,
I've never played this one on guitar, actually. I produced it and sang to it, but I would like to add it into my set. So
what's it
we can
called?
try it
Cool.
out. It's called Happier.
Happier.
Aw.
Yeah.
Great. And this is brand new, unreleased. This is first time anywhere, right?
Unreleased,
Wow.
yeah.
So just a little
Wow.
snippet, if you would. If this is a song, Happier.
I'm sorry I didn't invite you. I didn't wanna go in the first place. That doesn't mean I don't like you. We're friends, aren't we? It's like my chest and my brain doing two different things. You're so good, then you ain't. Hey, this room is pretty I'd be happier. I'd be happier if I hadn't seen you last night. I'd be happier, yeah. I'd be happier if I hadn't seen you last night. Oh, this wave is pretty outrageous, falling and falling for the third time. Magnetized, we're being courageous. Love on the line, oh my. It's like my chest and my brain are playing two different games. We're so good, then we ain't. Hey, this room is pretty great. I'd be happier. I'd be happier if I hadn't seen you last night. I'd be happier, yeah. I'd be happier if I hadn't seen you last night.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Aw.
It's so beautiful.
Thank
so
you.
powerful.
I should probably release it soon.
You will soon.
Maybe up next. I got something on April
Oh,
21st.
it's just
after.
Oh
so
my gosh.
moving. And your cleverness, just thoughtful lyrics, just amaze me.
Thanks, Mama.
Yeah.
Well,
oh my gosh.
one of your people that had been involved in your past, like management and stuff, had said that's what they love about you. That's the very most is when you just tell a story and share your heart and tell a story, and that song is great.
Thank you.
And a lot of people out there go, "It is. Oh, I'd be happier too." Oh my gosh,
Very real.
that's very real.
Oh, very real.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for being
Thanks
here.
for having me. I love you
Wow.
guys.
Oh my gosh,
Mom,
So-
any parting words?
I'm just honored to be your mom.
Oh my
And
God.
I don't know. I just want to stand with any parents and say, have courage to let your kids be who they are because they're amazing.
Yeah.
You don't have to direct them into everything. It was a learning curve for me, but oh my gosh, I just love watching you fly.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, you
You're
really,
such a gift.
You really trusted her
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Honestly.
I mean, even when you were 2, you'd be out in the back. You used to tell this all the time, out in the back swinging on the jungle gym, like way up high. And some friend would be over saying, "Aren't you worried about her?" I'm
Aw.
like, "No, she's good."
Oh.
And you never got hurt on that
so
thing.
cute.
Yeah.
Oh,
Anyway.
Because you knew
That's
me.
what-
You knew your kid. You were
Yeah.
like,
yeah.
I've seen
Yeah.
her do it. She's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. The worst happens, you fall and get hurt, but it's
Exactly. Which I did. I broke,
it's
not
not permanent.
then, but I've broken a lot of bones and they heal.
not a lot of bones. 2
Well-
things. You tore your
Yeah.
ACL.
Rock
And
climbing.
you broke, and you broke your wrist or
My
something.
leg, skateboarding.
Your leg.
I'll stick to music. It's way safer.
But, but you've been adventurous.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Surfed a lot in South Africa where it's
Yeah.
great surfing.
Yeah.
You've just done a lot of
We
things.
got to get out there, man. Life is to be lived and nature is
That's
so pretty.
right.
So going outside, doing things worth it every time.
Yeah.
Even
Well-
when you don't feel like it, go outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that.
That's
as a
right.
parent, I don't think we ever wanted to look back and go, "Oh man, you know what? We didn't want to hold you back. We wanted you to just be yourself and have the freedom
Yeah.
to go out and try things, knowing you had the safety of home, and especially when we're talking to those in our community who are LGBTQ plus, who don't have safe spaces out there.
Yeah.
Parents, the home needs to be the grounding point, the
Yeah.
safe place, so they can go out and try and live and love and be hurt and come back and get refueled and encouraged and stuff like that. So it was a joy always. So
That's important.
yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
Well, just a moment here. I want to talk about what's to come for FreedHearts because this is episode 100. What are we going to do with the podcast from this point on? And since the beginning, it's always been about freeing hearts to love and be loved. And that, beloved, is what you deserve. It's what your heart deserves. It's been about changing the conversation on love and inclusion. And we're pressing forward, going deeper than ever before, honestly, to a freedom that many of us never knew was possible. Come to this side of freedom. We have cookies, really good cookies.
Oh my God.
But before we do that, we're going to do something really special for the next couple of weeks. We're going to spend a couple of weeks on social media sharing our episodes specifically about transgender issues, along with some blog posts and other social media things. Mainly, I mean, why? Because it is a real threat out there right now with this legislation and this movement and this
Seriously dangerous.
It's seriously dangerous
and scary.
This is real. And so we encourage you to please listen to those. And here's what we ask of you, beloved. We ask you to share. If we have a podcast episode about the transgender issue that has moved you, share it, please, on social media with someone you know. If you see one of our blog posts about this or social media, share. That's what you can do. Let's try to just increase awareness of what's going on here about this. Yeah?
Yes, absolutely.
Again, thanks for listening. We hope you continue with us for another 100 episodes as we continue to always include, affirm, and love above all else. And Hannah, thanks for joining us today.
I love you guys.
There's lots of things coming from you as a singer-songwriter, from you as a DJ, and more, right? And all of that is at heysaintsinner.com. And listen, as we say at the end of this thing coming up here, listen and follow on whatever platform that you have out there.
Don't worry about me. You have a good day.
And there you go. Hannah,
Hannah.
You are beloved.
Aww.
And folks out there, so are you. We love you. We'll talk to you next time.
We love you.
Yay. Bye.
All of you.
Bye.
Bye.
You're about to sing coming up here, aren't you?
Right now?
In the recording. Yeah, you're about to sing the recording thing.
Oh, would it be okay? Let's go.
Let's go. Let's do this. Bye.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Would it be okay if I were to tell you that I am afraid someday, so I call you up and you call me down? Would it be okay?
You've been listening to the Freed Hearts Podcast. We have extensive resources and vibrant community for you at www.freedhearts.org. Just come say hello. And if you have questions or issues or comments about the podcast, things you'd like us to talk about, reach out to us at podcast@freedhearts.org. The music is provided by Hannah Cottrell, our daughter, the Grammy-nominated Saint Sinner, and you can find out more about her at heysaintsinner.com. Please share this, subscribe, and follow on your favorite platform, and thanks for listening.